Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show with your hosts Lee Silber and Ellen Goodwin.
Welcome to another episode of the Faster, Easier, Better show. I'm your co-host, Ellen Goodwin, along with my co-host,
Lee Silber.
Hey, Lee. Today, I want to talk about deadlines. Deadlines are how we get things done. And for a lot of people that are working from home and other people that are just not sure what's going on, deadlines are the thing that's going to save your day.
I couldn't agree more. I'm sorry. I thought you were done. It was
I know.
my deadline was at 30 seconds. It was my cue. No? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Did I jump the gun? You gave me
No,
a
you're
deadline and I had to meet it. It had to be done.
That's your deadline for talking, Ellen. Be done. So what I was going to say is that putting in deadlines into your day, false deadlines that are going to help you is a time-saving, work-enhancing tool that you can start using right away. One of my favorites is to pick something that I have to take care of in the morning, and it might be posting something to my LinkedIn account or sending out an important email. But I have to do that before I can do something that I enjoy. And that might be just getting on social media to see what people are doing. But I can't do that until I have done this one or two important things. That's my false deadline.
I agree. It's that pleasure or pain. And I remember when I was with Random House, if I didn't turn my manuscript on time, I had to give back all the money. But if I did it on time, then this book came out and I was famous and wonderful and ooh. So of course I did just make it, but finished. The deadline was a motivating factor to sometimes, if you're a perfectionist, to say, good enough, I got to let go. And if you're someone that just kind of lets other things distract you, it focuses you on, okay, I've got to get this done. But there has to be consequences or rewards, I think, or else the deadline is like, well, that little deadline thingy,
I might get it done. I might not. Yeah. And that happens. And especially if you don't have accountability. I mean, I can tell myself that I can't do this, but it's super easy for me to go, well, who's going to know if I didn't do that? That's why I also believe in accountability. And we're covering accountability in another episode. But having deadlines gives yourself accountability to get things done.
And we're going to talk about also the to-do list and the thing. So I think it's the clock, it's the calendar, and it's the to-do list all mixed together that gives the deadline its effectiveness.
Right. And you think about it, we have deadlines that we're used to. We're coming into the holiday season. That's a hard deadline. Weddings are big deadlines. Graduations, all these things that have been impacted by COVID, but in regular, quote unquote, regular times, those are huge deadlines. And everything always gets done because there's a major deadline. So the importance of deadlines, adding those into our daily life can make a huge difference. And it's important not to put things off.
I agree. I think a deadline, the word dead is right in it. I mean, it's a heavy word. And, I think a to-do list every day is kind of like your daily bucket list, something on there that you really, really want to do, for, like you said, because to avoid the pain or to gain the pleasure. And when I used to, God, it's hard to even talk about. I knew a woman named Sunshine Blake, and she had the most interesting life. And she would always say, I'm going to write a book about my life. And I thought, great, I would read that. But 20 years went by. So she had no deadline. She just said, someday I'm going to do this. And then she called me and said, Lee, I was diagnosed with lung cancer, turned out to be stage 4. And she asked me if I would write the book for her. So she said she had 6 months left to live. And I guess the old Sunshine, we would have just put it off, or we would have met occasionally, but we met every Wednesday. And in the beginning, she was in pretty good health, and then she deteriorated towards the end. But I got everything I needed to write her life story a week before she passed away. And sadly, I wish she was around to see the book called Sunshine, because it was for me, a labor of love. I really enjoyed working on it and hearing her life story and finishing that project for her, because she said she had no regrets except that she had never written this book, but she kept putting it off. But the deadline literally was the thing that got her to get over the hump and start working on it. And she had accountability. I was there every Wednesday waiting for her.
Wow. That's that's a heck of a story. And that's very much illustrates why we don't want to wait until that sort of deadline. Because while she got things done, she got the book done. Wow. Thank you. And I'm going to add it. Yeah.
I'm looking at the cover right now, and it's one of those things that it exists, but without the deadline, I don't think that book exists.
Exactly. So finding deadlines, and whether they're daily deadlines or short deadlines or even, multiple month deadlines, but put deadlines into effect to get things done. So give yourself a deadline to subscribe, like, and review our podcast, and then be back again with us next week for another episode.